who's watching this. I hope you have been enjoying the cold weather, and it's supposed to continue for a good amount of time, which is what you'll be glad to hear. Um, keep checking UKC. There's lots of good conditions being logged on here, lots of routes, mostly mixed lines. I haven't seen any notable ice routes being climbed yet, but that should hopefully change over the next couple of days as the temperatures stay cold down to sea level. And it's not going to be build-up ice routes. It's going to be cascade ice, water features, gully lines that are freezing in the really cold temperatures. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Oodley, Craig Meggie, those kind of routes come into climbable condition over the next few days, particularly Monday, Tuesday after a couple more days of freezing. We've had very, very cold temperatures. This is the temperature that the CIC here. It's been freezing. This is 600 meters. It's been down to -5 as well, which is extremely exciting. Literally just the front that came through on New Year's Eve just kept us nice and cold for quite a while now. So it's good to have a quick check of this Holsway station every now and again. There's a couple of there's one on Alnwick, there's one on Drumocta. There's a few all over Scotland, but it's just no good resource to have. Good resources as well. There's the sites blogs are really good. They've got really nice pictures. I'm hoping they go on the Ben today. With the Lochaber one, they were up on the 2nd. So if you are headed that way, have a read of that one. Also, weather warnings are worth noting. There is a storm system moving through England at the moment. It's currently sitting just to the south part of Wales, and it isn't going to quite reach the west coast of Scotland, which is quite unusual, but it's why I've come back up to Scotland quite early, because I didn't want to get trapped down here in this snow warning. It does extend further north slightly as the back end of the low pressure moves to the east of us, and then the winds start turning back to us. I won't be surprised if we see this extended a little bit. But like I said, the mass worry is England and Wales are getting the brunt of it. So I'll show you this in real terms. You can see the it's basically an occluded front coming off this low pressure system. The cold front has caught up with the warm front, so there's a lot of convectional rain, line convection as well, which is turning us to snow as it meets the cold northerly winds as we've got. It's going to quickly turn back to rain on the southern edge as the warm air gets back in, but for the northern parts, it's going to mostly fall as snow. I think it's about above 150 meters is going to get 40 centimeters of snow in the Yorkshire Dales, is what I read somewhere. So I probably would not get up to Scotland in that. So just to note for what we've got in Scotland is there's just bits and bobs coming off the North Sea on the back end of it. We're not getting any frontal rain, but we'll get a bit of convection and some stuff being picked up and blown across from the ocean, and that will basically mean that the north and the west coast, as far to the coast as you go, will get a lot more snow than more inland, and compared to the east coast as well, until this low pressure moves through, and then there might be some more blowing back across on the back end of this low. But I'll just show that with the actual system itself quickly. So here's the low coming through. It's not quite extending greatly into Scotland. This has it running quite high actually, but then when it's moving over to the east again, we've got stuff coming back in off the ocean, and as it moves further east, it's got the back edge of it can bring some more snowfall to Scotland as well. So there's a good couple of centimeters probably coming our way, but nothing like what England and Wales will probably be seeing. Just to show you that in a bit more detail, the snow accumulation charts here, you can see that's 56 there over the North Pennines and the Yorkshire Dales for the end of this system, whereas in the Scotland, the west coast is getting, I think that's a 5, and the east, this is after the low moves through, there's a significant amount. This isn't this is precipitation accumulation, so this is all the precipitation that will fall between now and Thursday. So don't take these numbers going, oh my goodness, that's so much. But this will probably all fall as snow at some way or another for us. You see it's heavily centered around the north coast and the west, and then the east after it moves through. Temperatures are going to stay really cold for us as the front doesn't quite get to us. You can see that massive temperature gradient there. That is like one matrix difference is 10 degrees nearly, which is pretty insane. It's just not coming quite up to us, so this is going to be where the significant amounts of snow fall along this band here, and we're staying in the chilly air mass. And just for what that means at sea level, we've got freezing temperatures, so icy roads, and potentially some pretty cool routes that don't normally come into condition might be freezing as we've been in this cold air for quite a while. I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking of, but I mean, this is a pretty good opportunity to start thinking a little bit bigger than a regular cold snap, where this is quite prolonged. This freezing level as well. Here you can see it's 400. Come back to me, and the massive. That's just so cool. This line convection all the way around here. So 0, 0 degree freezing level, and that's sticking around for this whole chart. There's no point in me like flicking through this. It's just cold. The cold air has taken control, and it's not going anywhere. So what is happening after this weekend and into early next week? There's another low pressure system trying to come through, but thankfully there's this like area of the polar vortex is breaking out from Greenland and Iceland, and it develops incredibly quickly, basically saving our ass from it. The first one being pushed as a channel low, and the second one being completely blocked out. Look at that, that's really cool. Just seeing over us, absolute tussle here. So the details of this is quite difficult to predict, but it does mean that with this warm and moist air to the southwest of us and the high pressure sitting directly above us, it will potentially bring some warmer air to then cycle around this high pressure system, which we're seeing happen after a couple of days of this block as it moves further east as well. This is all difficult to forecast because it's quite far away, like that's 10 days away. So we'll have a good week on this really cold air mass before the high pressure is deciding to change the regime. But similarly, it's probably not the end of the world if this forecast does come true. A lot of the other models are saying something similar to this will be happening. I did have this up earlier. Is it going to show me? Yeah, there we go. So the high pressure coming just here to sit on top of us, and then the warmer air being eaten up by that and spinning around us. There could be chances of inversion conditions, which I'd like to show you just now. So this is again the GFS model. It's been pretty good with this storm system. So the outlook on it is it should hopefully be a bit more accurate. And this is the temperatures at 850 hectopascals, so just above the top of Ben Nevis, saying very warm. You know, low single digits for the second week in January, end of the second week in January. And this is what I mean by the warmer air getting cycled around by the high pressure. But the lower air temperatures, just because of the movement in the high pressure, are inverted. So not only will that mean that the lower temperatures will stay colder, but also ice features, potentially running ice features, would be really good. It's not like a massive raining thaw where it's going to ruin everything and strip everything back. It's going to be like a melty thaw, which should hopefully just fatten up the ice features. You can see here we're still kind of close to freezing at sea level, whereas we were well above freezing at altitude. And you do need these little freeze-thaw systems to come through for topnick conditions to happen. So during this time period, whenever this high pressure pulls off, there is high confidence in this, as I'll show you in just a moment. It might not be the nicest time to be climbing, especially ice routes as they're dripping. Quite dangerous, really. There'll be falling ice blocks and very wet clothes, and not much rhyme about either, loose rocks. But afterwards, the creep and the refreezing of the running ice is going to be pretty interesting, as cold air should hopefully come back after that. And why I'm a little bit more confident in this, with if I bring the ensembles up, you can see the ensemble runs for these temperatures. You can see the higher pressure trying to it builds in around here. If I bring up the millibars, where are the millibars? Here we are. So you can see the high pressure building in around a week's time and peaking around the 13th of January. And you can see with that peak the warmer temperatures as the warmer air comes back, and it's staying around for the duration of the high pressure before tailoring off. But the lower air temperatures are significantly lower. So an inversion, a very strong inversion, if I just trace this 0 degree line here for 2 meters, so sea level, it's barely getting above it. You can see that it's, and this is for low altitude in the Cairngorms. So hopefully ice features lower down could be staying in for this high pressure, but if not, it's not to worry about because the shear in the ice as it refreezes will be pretty amazing. But I think that's all I've got to report. Just for when you want to go climbing, you can go climb loads of stuff at the moment. Just pick the nicer days. There's no point going out on the poor days if you can go out on the nicer days. And just be aware that there is this system moving through this weekend into Monday, so there's going to be really poor driving conditions, especially over the east coast on the back end of this. Ice on the roads, snow down to the roads on the northwest, significant amount of snow on the roads. So if you're going northwest, I'd probably try get up sooner rather than later, park the car, and you probably won't be able to move it for a few days. So take quite a lot of supplies if you're going climbing in the northwest. I'll be doing something similar, but I'm just going to the west coast. But thank you very much for listening.